The Spirit's Book, containing the principles of the Spiritist doctrine concerning the immortality of the soul, the nature of spirits and their relationships with humankind, moral laws, the present life, the future life, and the destiny of humanity, according to the teachings given by highly evolved spirits through several mediums, received and coordinated by Allan Kardec. Chapter 3. Creation. The formation of worlds.
Was the universe created, or has it existed from all eternity like God?
Obviously, the universe did not create itself, and if it has existed from all eternity like God, then it could not be God's work.
How did God create the universe?
To borrow a well-known expression, by the divine will, nothing can better portray that all-powerful will than those grand words from Genesis. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
Can we know about the way in which worlds are formed?
All that we can say, and the only thing you can comprehend, is that worlds are formed by the condensation of the matter scattered throughout space.
In accordance with current beliefs, are comets a commencement of the condensation of matter and worlds in course of formation?
That is correct, but it is absurd to believe in their influence. I mean, the influence commonly attributed to them, for all the celestial bodies play their part in influencing certain physical phenomena.
Could a completely formed world disappear and its compositional matter be once again scattered in space?
Yes, God renews worlds just as God renews living beings.
Can we know how long it has taken for worlds to form the Earth, for instance?
I cannot tell you anything about that, for only the Creator knows. Anyone who claimed to have such knowledge or to know the number of centuries it took for its formation would be very foolish indeed.
The formation of living beings.
When did living beings first appear on the Earth?
In the beginning, all was chaos. The elements were all jumbled together. Little by little, each thing settled into its proper place. Then, living beings appropriate for that state of the globe appeared.
Where did these living beings come from in order to appear on the Earth?
The Earth already contained their prototypes, which had been waiting for the favorable moment in order to develop. The organic elements began to combine the moment the force that had kept them apart ceased, thereby forming the prototypes of all living beings. These prototypes then remained latent and inert like a chrysalis or a seed until the proper time for each species to appear. Then the beings of each species came together and reproduced.
Where were these organic elements before Earth's formation?
They were in a fluidic state, so to speak, in space amongst the spirits or on other planets, waiting for the creation of the Earth in order to commence a new existence on a new globe.
Are there still creatures that come into being spontaneously?
Yes, but their primitive prototype has always existed in the latent state. You witness this phenomenon all the time. Don't human and animal tissues contain a multitude of larval prototypes waiting to emerge as soon as the decay needed for their existence begins? It is a microscopic world that slumbers and then awakens.
Was the human species among the organic elements on the terrestrial globe?
Yes, and it came forth at just the right time. This is the basis for the statement that humans were formed from the dust of the earth.
Can we know the ages in which humans and other life forms first appeared on the Earth?
No, all of your calculations are purely speculative.
If the prototype of the human species was among the globe's organic elements, why don't human beings continue to appear spontaneously as they did when they first came into being?
The beginning of things remains one of God's secrets. Nevertheless, we can say that once early humans began to spread out over the earth, they absorbed into themselves the elements needed for their formation in order to pass on these elements according to the laws of reproduction. The same happened with all the other species of living beings.
The peopling of the earth. Adam.
Did the human species begin with one single man?
No, the man known as Adam was neither the first nor the only one to populate the earth.
Can we know when Adam lived?
More or less at the time assigned to him, about 4,000 years BC.
The diversity of human races.
Where did the physical and moral differences that distinguish the Earth's various races come from?
From climate, lifestyle, and custom. The same would happen if two siblings from the same mother were each raised differently and far apart. They would show no moral resemblance to each other.
Did humankind first appear at various points on the globe?
Yes, but at different periods, which is another cause of human race diversity. Later, humankind spread throughout the different climatic zones and new types arose in the course of interbreeding between different races.
Do these different races imply distinct species?
Certainly not. All are of the same family. Do the different varieties of the same fruit mean that they do not all belong to the same species?
Since the various human types have not all come from the same ancestor, mightn't they cease to regard one another as brothers and sisters?
All are brothers and sisters in God because they are animated by the same spirit and strive towards the same goal. You always want to take words literally.
The plurality of worlds.
Are all the globes spinning through space inhabited?
Yes, and contrary to what Earth dwellers believe, they themselves are far from being first in intelligence, goodness, and perfection. Nevertheless, there are individuals who think they know the whole truth of the matter and imagine that this little planet is the only one privileged enough to be inhabited by reasoning beings. Pride and vanity. They fancy that God has created the universe only for Earth dwellers.
Is the physical composition of all the different globes the same?
No, they do not resemble one another at all.
Since the physical composition of all the various worlds is not the same, do the beings inhabiting them have a different physical organization?
Of course, just as on yours fish are made for living in the water and birds for living in the air.
Do the worlds farthest from the sun lack light and heat, since the sun would appear only as a distant star to them?
Do you believe that the sun is the only source of light and heat? What about electricity? On some worlds, electricity plays a role unknown to you, which is much more important than the role it plays on Earth. Besides, we have never said that all beings are made of the same matter as you, with organs similar to yours.
Subscribe now and embrace this journey and let the light of the Spiritism guide you.